Hey, SBG and Matt. Well, you've been away from my media for 5 days, and so I decided to yesterday binge Walsh. You're thus going to get my comments, 5 of them. Before I do, though, the psychosomatic Walsh has infected my brain. Probably in a good way. I used to be a fan of, yes, ranch dressing. Now, for some reason, after listening to you, who finds zero taste in ranch, this is going to be the final portion. My mom said don't waste food, otherwise I'd get rid of it totally. So, yes, it now seems tasteless, lifeless, even negative. I will be in the Thousand Island or creamy Italian from now on. All right, number one. I am now a Jeremy's chocolate buyer for all the right reasons, and it was influenced on the spot by you touting what I've said for a long time, that boycotting is powerful. It might be the most powerful tool that we have because we're locked out of so many institutions. But the popular revolt against anything big is a way to bring them to their knees. So I am giving up Hershey's. I have already double ordered from Jeremy's Chocolate. I wait for them to follow through. Thank you for doing this, and please keep it up. I have a different video called Boycott the Woke, and it looks like you're taking action. I'd like to suggest some more action. Putting your values into the political sphere with running for office. I know you don't. You've given good reasons, but there is somebody who meets your criteria for probably not wanting to be president, but who'd be very good if elected, and almost as good anyway, just being in the fray and getting the proper attention from, well, Democrats. They're the ones who need the most help. And in a series of primaries that are open in most states, all you have to do is enter a few, you'll get attention. But not you, this guy. Why not? JB to replace our president, JB. JB to at least put him low in front of enough media should Biden wish to actually appear on the same stage. Probably he'll avoid, which was successful in 2020. But at least Jeremy Boring will bring a voice to, yes, Democrats. Okay? Being a Democrat, briefly, okay? It's a label. It's like wearing a bad sweater for 3 months. Invade the Democrat Party with values, because there are decent people who vote Democrat that just haven't had a choice in leaders that's decent. Show that they could have a choice, that ultimately, once Biden gets renominated or another stooge gets nominated instead, that their better choice will be in the Republican Party. But until then, by pointing out that the very values that most Democrat voters held in the 1970s and 1960s are now with Republican candidates, that the Democrat leadership is almost totally opposed to everything that a traditional Democrat once believed in. The case needs to be made. Look, I think many people should be running for office. I think Ben Shapiro could be toying with that other BS, Bernie, and do well. Candace Owens would make mincemeat should Cori Bush or Gavin Newsom or Michael Bloomberg get into the race again. And I urge normal Americans who are willing to run for local offices to do so within the Democrat Party. Bust in so that at least our voices are heard and some voters can get taken away if they shut us out. Number 2, please uplift this guy. You mentioned Tony Dungy for all the right reasons, but let me add one more. There are far more viewers attentive to sports media than political media. This man is a bridge. This man brings to those viewers the values and common sense that you bring to your audience every single week. Ad. Okay, this will be an easy ad. He can still keep his NFL job until they fire him, but he'll do very well being outspoken in his very calm way. By the way, offering a contract to Tony Dungy, which I don't expect has to be that large because he's passionate and he can make money outside. Do you realize just how good a coach he was? Okay, I've looked at the winning percentages of all-time coaches. He's the only one alive who coached for 10 or more seasons with the highest winning percentage. Okay, 668. Nobody is better. Okay, not Bill Belichick, not Andy Reid, not Mike Tomlin. None of them have a higher winning percentage. All time, he's 8th, okay? And I'll give you the names of 5, 6, and 7 above him. Shula, Paul Brown, and George Halas, okay? He's in elite company with his very good company. All right, number 3. It is sad to admit loss. You have admitted a loss of the culture currently, and that it's going to take probably 2 generations to completely win back the culture. You've also given a litmus test for many candidates. I'd like you to consider this one as well. That a candidate for local office will fashion school choice. Okay? Let people out carrying the dollar amount that they can use where they want. The dollars that are being spent per pupil right now on their decrepit public schooling, let them go where they want. That's a form of public still because there's public money attached. I don't really like that part either, but until that can be extirpated, let the money be used where parents want. It will, generate better schools. Number 4, this is somewhat picky, but we do disagree on DoorDash. DoorDash, you shouldn't feel guilty about using it, okay? Ask Mrs. Walsh sometime when she's dealing with 2 or more of your kids and could use some extra help, whether she wants her spouse trucking out for 25, 30 extra minutes when the same food can come to the door and you can stay home, okay? I am certain that you earn at least $75 an hour. If you don't, you need a different agent. And thus, your money that is well earned is well spent on conveniences that make your husbanding, your show prep, your enjoyment of everything else better. Saving time is good. Look, I doubt, unless you own a ranch where you have farm-to-table processing of meat, that you don't raise cattle, slaughter cattle, prepare cattle. You have other people do that for you to give the final preparation in your home the taste that you want. So this is just one extra step. The delivery to a choice of restaurants. You won't be stuck with the cattle that are in your ranch, and you can have it any night. All right, finally, it's related. Another service, I am old-fashioned, but these 2 services enhance humanity. It is Airbnb, and your disdain for it, it's hard to understand because you seem very traditional in wanting a great experience when you travel. So to be stuck with antiseptic hotel chains, they all are looking about the same. I can't distinguish Wyndham from Marriott from Hyatt, just as you can't distinguish Kohl's from other clothiers. So you have to spend even more time in those hotels, these same old, 12 hours at a time, not just 3. And you have to deal with a young concierge who pretends to know the new city you're in. Often, he's actually influenced by kickbacks to which restaurants he's going to point you to. By contrast, when you're with an Airbnb host, she almost certainly knows the city, she knows the neighborhood, and is pretty happy to share her time, her knowledge with you. It's also very good for hosts. Hosts who get, on their end, kind of neat guests. Look, I'm a host of 4 properties back in New England. And it's kind of neat when I've had a baker, when I've had a Marine Corps serviceman, where I've had a beekeeper, where I have a guy who cuts down tall trees during and after storms. It's a neat experience for both. Airbnb is an enhancement. We don't need these behemoth hotels that are cookie cutter to be the only choices out there. And it's especially good for singles. Singles who might want some camaraderie, they're in their room, but they share the dining area, just like true Airbnbs do. It's nice. And for singles who are relocating, I have many of them who come to Connecticut taking a job and aren't ready to settle into any apartment. They don't have the money in the first place, 2 months rent plus a security deposit, plus utility bills, plus furnishings. Airbnb is a lot cheaper for a longer term stay, and it gets them settled in inexpensively. All right, thank you for all your great help, and don't take another break. You won't get this back from me. Take care.